All right, good morning, room 4. Good morning, Miss Olguin, and good morning, Brittany. My name is Michael Lee. I'm Bryn's dad, and I'm a firefighter with the city of Los Angeles. So, first things first, here's our, we can say hi to our fire doggy here. This is Pepper. She's our fire dog, so she comes with us every day at work, and she's kind of like our station dog. So, I'm a firefighter with the city of Los Angeles at Fire Station 21. And this is our fire station. So let me show you around our station a little bit. All right, there's a training tower in the back. This is one of the bigger stations we have. I'm currently stationed here at 52nd and South Central Avenue in South Central Los Angeles. All right, so let's take a look around and I'll show you some of the cool things we have in our station here. So first things first, this is my day today. I'm on the truck, so this is our big fire truck. So I'll turn the camera around for you guys so you can see. Ooh, I'll just keep it like this. So, all right, now we're looking at the front of the truck. So this is truck 21, and we have a couple empty bays right now because that's where we have our other stuff. And I'll show you pictures of some of our other stuff when they get back, some of our other apparatus, because they're actually at fires and doing other stuff right now. But this is the fire truck. So we have our AO that sits up here, and these are the big trucks that you typically see. So if you look here, it looks just kind of like a normal car. Steering wheel, you got a little computer screen up there that comes out and tells us where we're going to be going on our runs. There's a ton of little buttons and more buttons to push to kind of, and a ton of gauges. So it's kind of like your normal car. We all have to have special licenses to drive. We're trained to drive all of the apparatus. So today is my turn. I'm actually going to be driving. Sorry. So, all right. So here's the truck. There's firefighter Miyasato. That's Chris. He's driving the truck today. All right. So, let me see. We'll go over here. My spot today, I'm actually going to be driving the very back of the truck. So when you see the trucks and you know that you look at the people in the back there, I'm going to be the one that gets to drive in the back there today. So, all right, I'm going to take you up, show you some of the other cool things. So now I'm climbing up to the very top of the fire truck. So that's the top there. Hey, Dino. Sorry. I'm gonna do a video for Bryn, her school. Yeah, my daughter. Okay. All right, so this is the top. This is the aerial ladder here. So this is a 100-foot aerial ladder. It's very long. It's like a 70-foot long truck. So we have controls here, which is actually kind of cool. Sorry. But it's almost like a big toy, kind of like the big toys you play with, growing up with the fire trucks and little things like that. They kind of do the same thing like a big claw machine, except it controls a big aerial ladder that can go 100 feet in the air. So we can reach about 7-8-story buildings, pretty high up, and it doesn't need to be supported. So we could literally put it straight up in the air and climb up it. I'll see if I can do that later for you guys so you can see. It's actually kind of fun and scary. So, but if you look, this is the aerial ladder going back, and then all the way back here is another steering wheel. And this is the one that controls the very back. So if you look right back here, there's nothing else behind me, so we always have two drivers. The one in the front drives the front, and then the one in the trailer we call the tiller person, or the tiller firefighter, and that's me. We control the back wheels, the tiller. So it helps the truck get through a lot of tight spots. I used to work for about 8 years in Hollywood, in the Hollywood Hills, and the streets are very tight, and we could get the truck through all of them. So that shows you kind of like if you have two people that are able to kind of steer how tightly you can get into some of those spots. We can get into pretty much any street. It's kind of impressive actually. So, all right, let me head on down to the bottom and I'll start up again. All right, bye. All right, we're back outside again. And the difference is now that was the truck back there where I sat right up there. And this is the fire engine. Okay, so we have the fire truck, the fire engine. The big difference is the fire truck has no water, has no hose. So the fire engine is the one that has the water and the hose to actually put out fires. The fire truck is just a big toolbox. So we'll go through, look through a compound. I have chainsaws, rotary saws. All it is just a big toolbox. Whereas the engine is the one that has the water, all the hose, see, and a lot of other equipment too. But mainly, a fire engine is a big pump. So, all right. So the fire engine. Oh, there's Pepper again. All right. So we have the fire engine. This is one of our engineers. This is Sean Kennedy. So he's the engineer. His job is actually to take care of this engine. So he drives the engine everywhere. He pumps. So we get to be the pumping, and he controls all the gauges you see on the. He makes sure that we have water, because when we go into a fire or structure, we got to make sure we have enough pressure for all our lines. So he actually promotes, tests, and his job is to know what every one of these gauges does and pressurizes, because we have different lines, and it's not as simple as just hooking up to a hydrant and just flowing water, because you can have too much pressure. More times it's not enough pressure. So that's why we have this. So we actually put the fire engine, and it turns into a pump, and it can't move, and then we just rev up the RPMs, and it just takes the pressure from the hydrant that you see, and it puts it through this pump, revs it up, and gives it to the hand lines. So we have enough pressure to fight fire, whether it be one firefighting hose line, whether we have two hose lines, whether we have the big portable monitor, whether we put a tip on the aerial ladder to flow water there. We have to be able to do that, and an engine can do that. It can pump out over 1,000 gallons a minute if we needed to. So that's a big deal. So it's a very important part. So pretty much these two, the truck and the engine, always go together on all of our calls, because we can't just be a truck with tools and no water, and likewise the engine needs the manpower also. So we always go together, the truck and the engine. All righty, here's Pepper again watching the outside. So now I'm gonna be all right, room 4, continuing on. So like I said, we have 18 firefighters here assigned to the station, and here is the other apparatus bay where we keep half of our rigs here as well. So this one is the engine. It looks just like the other one. This is the one, remember, with the water tank and all the hose, and has the engineer and the firefighters. And you guys will probably recognize this. This is an ambulance, right? So it's an ambulance. So it's just like the ambulances that you see on TV. Our department, we like to have our firefighters trained as the paramedics, so we can keep it all in-house. So we like to have our firefighters handle all of the, the different transports, and obviously we're all under the same employees. We take turns cooking, we all live together. We think it works better that way. So all the firefighters are minimum at least firefighters and EMTs. Some of us are firefighters and paramedics. So I'm also a paramedic. I'm actually more on the fire side right now, because I, wanted to just fight more fire than do the paramedic stuff. But I am a paramedic and a firefighter, so I was trained by the city for that. So let me take you inside and take a look inside. All right, so you can kind of see what the inside of an ambulance looks like. All right, so here we enter in through the side. I opened up the doors there in the back, and if you can see, that's where the gurney is. And you can kind of see, if I take you around, that's the back seat right there. That's where usually the person, whoever's taking care of the patient and recording, will stay there, because then he has the telephones and all the radios here to make the communications to the hospitals, especially if we have big incidents like a train wreck or like a hazmat incident or something like that, where there's a lot of patients. So he'll get on the radio and talk with the hospitals there. So if you pretty much look around, there's no wasted space in the ambulance, because it's already, we want to make things as efficient as efficient as possible, I guess, So we want to fit things into the smallest spaces, because we don't obviously want to have a humongous ambulance, but we only have a limited amount of space. So you notice we'll always put certain things up on high. If you notice, we'll use every bit of corner space here to fit equipment. There's compartments like above the doorway there. If you look, even compartments over here with extra oxygen bags. And up there's other medical equipment as well. So in each of these, if you look, even these have drawers to pull out. Even the seats that we sit on right here open up, and they carry more equipment. And even here, the seats open up, and we can carry more equipment under there as well. So we try not to waste any space. So on this ambulance itself, we carry all the equipment that a paramedic would carry. So you have a lot of the drugs, all the equipment, tubes, but I can get into all the different medical equipment you need, but pretty much it's everything we need so we can run emergency calls. Because our job as the firefighters and the paramedics especially is that we just have to be able to get the patient to the hospital alive and stable, and then we continue care and we drop off at the hospital to the emergency room doctors. So we're the kind of the first line of defense. When people call 911 for whatever the emergency is, then we come prepared. And especially as an ambulance or a paramedic, our job is to just keep him alive, keep him stable until we can get him to the hospital for help. So we have equipment here, and this is over 50, 60 years of experience and what we've needed, that we've come up and needed along with state regulations, that what we need and what we've learned to keep people alive. So we're very good at it. Okay, room 4. Here is the ladder truck again, truck 21. I'll start showing you some of the equipment we keep on here. So part of the reason why our truck is so long is, one is you obviously see this big wooden ladder. This is our 35-foot extension ladder. This one weighs about 200 pounds, and then it takes 2 of us to throw this. So it's a very heavy ladder, but we throw it on almost all of the fires because we need that big ladder a lot of times. So if you look in here, this is where we keep all of our other ladders. So if you can kind of see down there, you'll see how deep all the ladders go inside the bay. And that's why we have this long trailer, not only to hold the 35s here on the side and the aerial ladder up there up top, but also inside it houses all of our straight ladders. So when we need a ladder, first thing we do is come here and we unlock it, put down the tab, and then we pull the ladder out, and that's how it's stored. So if you can kind of see, looking back, see, that's kind of how we store our ladders. So we make sure that's how we pull them out, and we like it that way because it's fast. One person can throw each of these ladders, and that's kind of our job. If you're on the truck at a fire, then your job is to make sure you get the ladder up, and then we start bringing tools up to the roof. So, all right. And some other tools we have. These are blowers, which are big fans we use when there's a lot of smoke in the house afterwards and stuff like that. We can actually use these big fans and put them at the door, and they'll actually blow out all the smoke really fast. It's kind of like just like the fans you have at home, except ours are attached to a big, 10 horsepower motor. So they're just made to blow out all the air. So. Let's see, over here are just, like I said, some of our tools. These are extra air bottles we have for our SCBA devices that we use so we can go into the fires. These are chainsaws that we use, like this. So the chainsaws we use right here to cut, just like you would see like loggers or guys who work in the forest, like going down and cutting down big trees and lumberjacks and stuff like that. We do the same thing. We use chainsaws that also do that, but we use them to cut on the roof and also to cut down, wooden doors, or if they're we need to make forcible entry, stuff like that. But mainly we use it to cut open roofs. It works really well. All right, continuing to move down. Alrighty. Okay, this is like a lot of our auto extrication equipment, or sometimes you'll hear them called jaws, but there are auto extrication tools. So these are like the ones that are powered with pneumatically with air and liquid hydraulic. So they're hydraulic tools, and we use them to cut open cars, break entry, but mainly we use it for auto extrication. So, all right, here you go. Here's one of our other tool compartments. This has all of our tools we use for when we go on traffic accidents and the cars get really mangled up and we actually have to cut open the car. So these are like our big can openers. If you see, like some of these have like big jaws here, and they're just like big scissors, and they'll just literally cut open a car like a can opener that easily. And we'll have big spreaders here. Sometimes you hear them called like the jaws or jaws of life, and same thing. And that's what we use for our traffic accidents or really bad car accidents. We've also used them for stuff like train wrecks, like when the big Chatsworth train crashed, I was using those. So stuff like that. All right, let's check out the other side. All right, checking down the left side apparatus. There's our most important tool right there. That's Chris walking down the side. Alrighty, here's another fun compartment. This is kind of our forcible entry. This is our tools we use to break stuff. So we have our big sledgehammers here that we use. Kind of like, so it's kind of like Thor's hammer right here. And we use it to break open doors and other things and breach openings. And then we have other pry tools here like our crowbars, our ram bars. This is just a big ram. Oh, and we got a call. Time for us. We gotta pack up and go on this call. Hi, room 4, Firefighter Lee back here again. And like I said, we each take turns cooking. Last time the cook was not in the kitchen, but he already went shopping. Now he's back. There's our cook today. It's Preston. Hi there. So he's the one that drives the truck. So, but it's his turn to cook. Just because he drives the truck doesn't mean he can't cook. So. And today, what is let's see, what is Preston making?
We got chimichurri chicken and some Cuban black beans.
There you go, black beans. See, he's cooking onions over here. We're fancy over here at 21's. Look, we got sous vide going with the chicken in there. All right, outstanding. And let's check outside. Okay, room 4. I guess there's some questions that Mrs. Ogi wanted to ask of all of us for career day, and a couple of them were like, what got me into this job, why I wanted to do it, what kind of tools I use, stuff like that. So I always wanted to be a firefighter. I think since I was probably about 7 or 8, close to your guys' age now. I first got interested in it because when I was younger, around 8, 9, my grandmother passed away at home, and I was actually the oldest one there at the time because she was watching us, me and my little brother. So I found her after she'd gotten hurt, so I had to call 911. And I just remember the firefighters were there, always nice, very helpful, to care of me and my brother when we were really scared, and that stuck with me. So I thought, you know, like when I needed help, I didn't know what to do, I called 911. They showed up and were very caring, compassionate. And I grew up in LA, Koreatown, so I knew I always wanted to work as a firefighter, and of the fire departments I wanted to work in LA City, which is my hometown where I grew up. So I got my dream job. I got to work for LA City as a firefighter, so which is pretty cool. Go. All right, hello again, room 4. This is Firefighter Lee again, Bryn's dad. So I'm here now to talk about some more about our equipment, specifically the tools and equipment that I wear, especially when we go into fires. So this is our typical uniform we wear here, and this is has our badge, our uniform, and obviously our patch. But this is what we wear typically when we go out in public, if we're fire preventing, or if we're going on medical calls, because we don't need like the big firefighting equipment, correct? So, but if you're ever stuck in a fire or another type of emergency, a lot of times this is not how I'm gonna look, or we're gonna look, the firefighters, when we come get you. So I wanna get you guys a little more familiar and show you some of the things that we're gonna use. So first I'm gonna go over is, these are our boots. So these are our firefighting boots and our pants and our suspenders. And we always put them together because we wanna be able to move fast. So if we put them together, we're able to put our pants, shoes, and our suspenders on in about 10 seconds, like that fast. So next we have our coat. So this is our firefighting or turnout coat here. It's very heavy in general because it's 3 layers, and it has other pieces like a face piece and hood, and it has the the gloves on the side, and this is also very heavy as well. Next we have our helmet, which is obviously helps protect our head. All right, and the other piece I want to show you is this is our air bottle. We call it the SCBA bottle. So just like a scuba diver needs an air tank, right? When they go underwater and they have to dive. Same thing, when we're going into a fire or we're going to smoke, we can't breathe smoke and we can't breathe hot gases either. So we need to bring our own air. So hence we have air bottles too, just like scuba divers. So we have air bottles too, just like scuba divers, okay? So common misconception, a lot of times people call them oxygen bottles and say it's not oxygen bottles, it's just compressed air, just like the scuba divers wear. So, all right. So I'm gonna put on some of the equipment and I'm gonna ask my lovely assistant. I think you may know her.
What? Why didn't you call me Bryn?
And there's Bryn. Okay, say hi, Bryn. Okay, so like I said, so when we get a call, we like to be fast, right? So what's the first thing I pointed out was the boots and the pants. So we take our boots off, just like this. Put them off to the side, and we can put our boots, and then we're able to pull our pants up just like this. Clip, and our suspenders. So now we have our half of our stuff on, right? Boots and pants on, just like that. Next, we have, this is a hood. So we have this and we put this on. This helps protect the little bits on the side. So pretty much our ears and the back of our neck, when the fire comes, this helps protect that so we don't get burned. Now, there's a nice thick jacket. Goes down, and of course thank you, Bryn, for my helmet. So all right, now I'm starting to look a little bit more like a firefighter, right? So in case you're in a fire, is this how I'm going to look when I come in? No, we're missing stuff, right? What are we missing, Bryn?
Air tank.
The air tank, right? So we're gonna miss the air tank. So even the way we come in is gonna look vastly different than what you're used to, because right now you can still see my face. You can still tell it's Firefighter Lee, right? Like, Bryn, you can still tell it's Daddy, right? Yeah, you can still see me.
I can only tell because you're bald.
Yes, I am bald. So, but once we start putting all of our equipment on, you actually cannot tell who we are. It gets very, very tough. That's why we have numbers on our helmets. Even on our face piece, if you look, it says Lee on it. I don't know if you can see that, Lee. That's because when we're fighting fire and we look at each other, this is all we can see is just a little bit of the eyes. And even when we talk, we sound like Darth Vader. So we put that on. Then of course there's our hood, right, to protect our ears. And last, we get our helmet back on. Alright, now here's the air bottle. Air bottle we swing on, just like a backpack. So we put that on, strap it down. Alright. Alright, now the air bottle's on. So, we're still missing a couple pieces, right? Alright, so you can kind of hear me speaking. We actually have a little speaker on our mask here that helps us talk, because it's really hard to hear each other now. So, here's Pepper. Okay, Pepper, go.
Pepper. Pepper. You want another chew stick?
Okay, Pepper. Hey. So, when we come into the fire, once we click in, so this is how we, yeah.
You down with the speaker, Dad? Set.
Yeah,
Set.
this is
Set.
actually,
Pepper. Pepper. Pepper.
But this is actually how we're gonna look. And this is really more like how we're gonna sound when we come get you. Alright? So it's gonna be us with the mask, gloves. It's gonna be very hard to tell now if it's Firefighter Lee, right? Especially if I'm coming in, I look like all the other firefighters. So, but I just want you guys not to be scared in case something happens and we're coming to look for you and we're like, is anybody in here? Then I want you to, don't be scared, right? Because you're going to know what we already look like. Because when we really come into a fire and we're trying to help you or save you, this is really what we're going to look like, okay? We're going to talk like Darth Vader, and we're going to breathe like this, and we're going to look a little scary probably. We're going to have our lights on, you know, like this, looking for you, trying to find out where you are, okay? We'll have Pepper come look for you. All right.
Pepper, no go.
All right, thank you, Bryn.
Okay, what is this one for? I'm saying, what's
All
this
right,
one
hey.
for?
Oh my gosh, these are all over the place. All right.
Pepper beat a good girl.
Okay, so like I said, thank you again, Room 4. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, Bryn, for all your help. And say hi to Pepper. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about community, and there'll be more videos. Okay? It's okay. You can shut it. Okay, ready? Say cut. Say action.
Action!
All right, Room 4. I wanted to talk really quick about the axe because Bryn noted that I forgot it. So, like I said, this is probably one of the most versatile tools that we have on the fire department, especially for each firefighter, because we always bring it with us, whether we go to any fire, any type, even elevator rescues a lot of times, and certain. It's just a very versatile tool. So we can use it to break things, cut things, use it as an anchor to escape if we have to. So this is typically what firefighter axe looks like, and it's our most important tool, and we always have one assigned to each of us. So a lot of firefighters will have their own personal ones, so hence this is my personal one that I have. So.
Maybe we can, you know, like how to show how heavy it is.
Oh, how heavy it is.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
see
like
about
it.
that.
So I can pick it up like this. It's about 8 pounds. Brittany can pick it up. How heavy is it?
Very heavy.
Oh, very heavy. Okay,
It's
see,
as
there you go.
It's as heavy as 2 bricks.
Yes.
That's how heavy.
Thank you, Bryn.
This arm is worked out.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's it. Okay. No, we don't have to talk about that one. But, okay, that's all. We just want to make sure that we talked about the axe. That's all. Bye, Room 4. Bryn, one more thing. Bryn.
Oh, and I forgot to tell that whenever I say 2-7, Dad screams. 2-7.
Ah!
I said, see what it is. 2-7.
Okay.